an airport, and then they're gonna build a city around it.
It's called economic evolution.
You are sealing yourself into the...
Hello, Yellowstone fans. So, the final episode of Season 3 was pretty hard to watch. All three of the Dutton children being attacked unexpectedly probably came as a shock, didn't it? But what if we tell you that all of them might be alive? Keep on watching to learn more about how they could have survived and what the ending of the final season means about the upcoming season. But before we continue, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more future uploads on the latest updates on the Yellowstone series. Season 3 finale explained. What were we missing? Season 3 of Yellowstone has been a hit, especially with the finale that left us all eager to learn more about Beth, Rip, Casey, and the list goes on. But the sad thing about the series is that we gotta wait a year or so just to know what happens to the fate of our favorite characters. Okay, so let's get more into the cliffhanger finale of Season 3. For all of you that have watched it, you probably know that the whole season was a bit of a slow burn. Bozeman received a new big baddie in the form of Rourke Morris, whose company made Dan Jenkins' real estate venture seem like a tiny boutique. And even though Holloway's Morris made somewhat of a bold entrance, he was standing on the sidelines for most of Season 3 of the series. For the majority of the show, he was mainly focusing on stocks and trading through his laptop, while also trying to find some spare time to keep up with his hobbies during his free time. This more civilized version of Morris might have all been a scheme to lull us into an unreal sense of security, because at the end of the season, everything started taking a different shift for the worst for him. Kelly Reilly, who's the actress that portrays Beth, has revealed that she thinks the same thing about Morris. While she was on an interview with Entertainment Weekly, she described Morris as the most formidable enemy that the Dutton family will have to face pretty soon. After watching the finale of Season 3, this description of Morris becomes clearer to us. In the episode finale titled "The World is Purple," nothing seemed to be settled down when it came to the boiling land dispute between Morris's firm, John Dutton, and Chairman Rainwater. However, instead of the situation getting better, it just went from an existing conflict to a deadlier phase, which might even mean the end for a couple of our favorite Yellowstone characters. Remember the last 5 minutes of the finale? Yeah, things got a little bit too intense. Some of the most eventful things happened by the end of this season, which kind of set the stage for the series to move on to its next act. So, let's get started on everything that happened, why it happened, and what it could mean for Season 4 of Yellowstone. Did Rourke Morris really win the battle? Or did the war just begin? We're all aware of what Morris's hedge fund is after. After their attempt to buy John Dutton out to the tune of $500,000 got rejected, they're now playing for keeps. They're now seeking to use the eminent domain law to beat the Dutton family by condemning their land with the governor of Montana. But they aren't only doing this to beat the Duttons, they also want to use their land so they can turn it into an airport so they can proceed with their planned ski developments. For the majority of the season, we're pretty sure this case would be settled down in suits and ties. But as we already know by now, that isn't how things are usually settled in Yellowstone. In episode 8, Morris planned his first move when he sent out goons to hunt down Teeter and Colby. On the other hand, the way that Kip responded to this was by trampling those same goons Wild West style, as they call it. And just for that slight moment, there was some hope that Rip might scare Morris for some time. As the fight progressed, it eventually ended in a meeting settled down in Governor Perry's office. During this intense meeting, Morris set all his cards out. His massively failed hedge fund is moving forward at getting the Duttons' land thanks to Governor Perry's support. On the other hand, Jamie can't do much in helping out, even though it's clear that he doesn't want to either. From this gathered knowledge as State Attorney General, he just keeps his behind safe to rescue himself and his family, as they're strongly connected to the Yellowstone Ranch. Chairman Rainwater, however, offers a bit of relief with a legal delay tactic. The people collaborating with him use the resources of environmental interest groups, including the Sierra Club, to press an environmental assessment of the plan that Morris had come up with. This might delay the condemnation of the Duttons' property, theoretically speaking, but Morris isn't that scared when it comes to a small legal fight. Moving forward, Chairman Rainwater tells the Dutton family that they need to join his lawsuit, but as we witnessed, John had other plans. Before exiting the meeting with Beth, John delivers a threatening warning. Rourke Morris doesn't really have a clue about the plan they have made, but John will eventually reveal all of it to him. Will the Dutton children survive? We're all clear that John Dutton is not the only mastermind of the south of Montana. Even though he got warned by John, Morris doesn't really get what the game is all about, not to mention the deadly stakes that await. While Morris performed a coordinated attack on the Dutton family, John had no idea of what was happening and was just pulling up on the side of the road of a highway to help a stranded person change their flat tire. In the final scene, the scene regularly switches between Beth, John, and Casey, as each one of them crosses paths with an unexpected attack that most likely came from Morris. While John was helping the stranger with a flat tire, a van unexpectedly pulls up and just shoots at him in cold blood in a matter of seconds. Beth meets a more horrific fate as she receives a weird package with a bomb in it which explodes after her assistant opens it. In the meantime, Casey is attacked similarly to John while he was working in his office of the Bureau of Land Management. While the finale of the season is hard to watch and also came nowhere to resolving the problem with the land, we are certainly left to deal with some possible changes by the next season. Even though the last few minutes of the finale pretty much made it clear how it ended for the Duttons, we don't think that's the case for them. There's just too much unexplained tension between the Dutton children that they'll most likely survive Morris's plans to get rid of them. Also, all three of them have yet to explain their full backstory. The chances that John and Casey survived are pretty high, as they might have survived the gunshots or managed to escape the final moments before getting shot. However, the one that we're worried about here is Beth. If she also makes it out alive, we're really questioning the how behind it. Because escaping from shots is explainable, but coming out alive from a massive explosion, we just can't really seem to put a finger on it. When will season 4 of Yellowstone premiere? With such an intense finale, it comes as no surprise that this series has generated more than 5 million viewers waiting eagerly to watch the premiere of its upcoming season. Such high ratings have made this series one of the most watched ones on cable television. The way this show describes the Dutton family's journey, especially the lives of John, Casey, and Beth Dutton, is so interesting. It keeps most of us up on our feet when it comes to who will win the battle of owning the land. In early 2020, Paramount Network finally announced that Yellowstone was looking forward to releasing the 4th season of the show. But this has come as no surprise because Taylor Sheridan, who is the executive producer of the show, has tightly written the drama to be able to release many other seasons against an American West environment. It sure has been a long time since season 4 was made official, and we're still expecting an exact release date for the season's premiere. But from the looks of it, we think that the series is just in its final touches of finishing the new season, and it might even air between the months of June and September. If Beth survives, will she get married to Rip? Beth and Rip have been in a relationship for a while now, and if she does manage to survive the explosion, we're expecting Rip to pop up the big question. However, their path to marriage is certainly not going to be an easy one, and they'll most likely have a rocky relationship. We believe that if the marriage does end up happening, it'll happen by the end of season 4. In this season, we also are curious to know if Rip will give Beth his mother's wedding ring. What will happen to Teeter and Colby's romance? Colby has had an attraction to Teeter throughout the whole last season, and the attack done by Wade and Clint just pulled both of them closer together. After the attack, Teeter showed a softer side of himself, making Colby more attracted to her. So it's a no-brainer that something will emerge between them in season 4. Do you think all 3 of the Dutton children will survive the attacks, or will one of them be left behind? If so, who do you think has the highest chances of making it out alive? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so make sure you leave a comment down below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.